अभी इतना बड़बड़ करने के बाद ओके recording started after the explanation of the verse. We should start now immediately. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha. Again I have to tell this. Iti mam yobijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. This recording is for those who are not attended. Suppose they are not able to attend the class and they listen to the recording. So the recording should start when the Mangalacharan starts. Okay? Keep it a system. Name karmani limpanti. Krishna says, I am not bound to any karma. No karma phala affects me, nor I have any aspiration or motivation to perform any karma. Name karma phala spruha. Iti mam yovijanati. Whoever knows this, karma birna sabatyate. He is never bound to any fruitive reactions of work. Okay. Shilpa Narvekar here.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mamyo vijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. Purport. As there are constitutional laws in the material world stating that the king can do no wrong or that the king is not subject to the state laws, similarly, the Lord, although he is the creator of this material world, is not affected by the activities of the material world. He creates and remains aloof from the creation. Whereas the living entities are entangled in the fruitive results of material activities because of their propensity for lording it over material resources. The proprietor of an establishment is not responsible for the right and wrong activities of the workers, but the workers are themselves responsible. The living entities are engaged in their respective activities of sense gratification, and these activities are not ordained by the Lord. For advancement of sense gratification, the living entities are engaged in the work of this world, and they aspire to heavenly happiness after death. The Lord, being full in himself, has no attraction for so-called heavenly happiness. The heavenly demigods are only his engaged servants. The proprietor never desires the low-grade happiness such as the workers may desire. He is aloof from the material actions and reactions. For example, the rains are not responsible for different types of vegetation that appear on the earth. Although without such rains, there is no possibility of vegetative growth. Vedic Smriti confirms this fact as follows.
Nimittamatram evasau sujayam Sujanam sarga karmani pradhana karani bhuta yato vai srujya shaktayah. So nimitta matram evasam. Lord is the supreme cause. The immediate cause is the material nature, srujayam sarga karmani, by which the cosmic manifestation is made visible. Pradhana karani bhuktaha yatro vahi srujya shaktayah. So the remote cause is Krishna. Like you are making chapatis. You are the immediate cause. Because of you, chapati has come. The remote cause is intermediate cause. Farmer is an intermediate cause. The remote cause, who has given earth? Who has given the first seed? Who has given the rains? The remote cause is Krishna. Generally, immediate cause always tries to take the name and fame. Or any blames, immediate cause get. Intermediate cause, not blame so much. Remote cause, nobody thinks also. Neither praises nor give. But anything wrong happens, everything is God. Why God has to do like this? Once king asked, when I am throwing everyday pearls and gold, nobody even looks up. The minister said, don't worry. You want everybody to look? Okay. Next day you start throwing stones. Always look up. When he used to throw pearls and gold, people used to collect and just run away. They is not even bothered to see who has given. So remote cause is not at all thought of when you have something wonderful. But something horrible, this Krishna doesn't know. See, he is giving everybody everything except me. So immediately we blame Lord. So that is what the story. Okay, read.
Should I continue?
Hmm.
In the material creation, the Lord is the only supreme cause. The immediate cause is material nature, by which the cosmic manifestation is made visible. The created beings are of many varieties, such as the demigods, human beings, and lower animals, and all of them are subject to the reactions of their past good or bad activities. The Lord only gives them the proper facility for such activities and the regulations of the modes of nature, but He is never responsible for their past and present activities. In the Vedanta Sutra, it is confirmed by Vaishamya Nairgrihanya na Sape
Vaishamya Nairghanya na Sapekshakvat. I'm not
Sapekshvat.
partial to anyone. Neither I have any grana, nor I take anyone's side. Hmm.
The living entity is responsible for his own acts. The Lord only gives him facilities through the agency of material nature. The external energy. Anyone who is fully conversant with all the intricacies of this law of karma or fruitive activities does not become affected by the results of his activities. In other words, the person who understands this transcendental nature of the Lord is an experienced man in Krishna consciousness, and thus he is never subjected to the laws of karma. One who does not know the transcendental nature of the Lord and who thinks that the activities of the Lord are aimed at fruitive results, as are the activities of the ordinary living entities, certainly becomes entangled himself in fruitive reaction. But one who knows the supreme truth is a liberated soul fixed in Krishna consciousness.
15th verse. एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वतरं कृतम् एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म. So all the liberated souls, they know. Evam evam gyatva कृतं कर्म पूर्वैः अपि मुमुक्षुभिः. The past authorities who attained, how they attained liberation, because they knew all these things. They knew my transcendental nature. Kuru karma, and that is how one should perform the prescribed duty. Krishna says, Eva tasmat, tasmat, therefore, you also should perform such prescribed duty by knowing my transcendental nature. Purva taram, that means in ancient times. Purvahi, the predecessors, they knew this. What they knew? That Krishna is not bound by any activity, nor Krishna has any personal motives. So that is how the liberated souls, mumukshubhi, they attain liberation. Purvahi mumukshubhi. They attain liberation just by knowing this transcendental nature. So Lord says, you should also perform your duty, following in their footsteps. So perform your duty. Don't have any aspiration behind it, personal motives, nor consider yourself to the cause and be bound by that karma. So perform the duty for Krishna. If you perform the duty for Krishna, then we are not bound for anything. We don't have any personal motive. One should not have any personal motives. Just do everything for Krishna. When a person does this, karma manasa gira nikhilashabhya avasthasu jivan mukta suchyate. Within this lifetime, he is liberated. Just keep the center point, Krishna. When you say Krishna, Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's Leela. So if we perform the activity for Krishna without any personal aspirations, that success is there, success is there, failure is there, failure is there. At least you have a satisfaction. I walked in Krishna consciousness. So success or failure is not guaranteed. It may come, it may not come. Even if failure is there, that is a stepping stone for success. That means Krishna wants to improvise us. Not that every action may give you the result what you expect. Sometimes there may be success, there may not be success. When there is no success, understand Krishna is removing our pride. How good. And when there is success, Krishna wants that we have to spread Krishna consciousness everywhere. Simple. You may not become famous right from the beginning. We don't know at what age, at what time you'll become famous. When you become famous, that is also having some costs. When you are not famous, also that time also there is a cost. So it's very good. Just walk. At least that satisfaction is there that I walk in Krishna consciousness. Some may know me, some may not know me. It doesn't matter. Krishna knows. That is more important. Okay. Jai Shri read.
Hare Krishna. Evam jnatva kridam karma purvairapi mumukshubhi Guru karmaiva tasmatvam purvai purvataram kritam. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. Purport. There are two classes of men. Some of them are full of polluted material things within their hearts, and some of them are materially free. Krishna consciousness is equally beneficial for both of these persons. Those who are full of dirty things can take to the line of Krishna consciousness for a gradual cleansing process following the regulative principles of devotional service. Those who are already cleansed of the impurities may continue to act in the same Krishna consciousness so that others may follow their exemplary activities and thereby be benefited. Foolish persons or neophytes in Krishna consciousness often wants to retire from activities without having knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Arjuna's desire to retire from activities on the battlefield was not approved by the Lord. One need only know how to act, to retire from the activities of Krishna consciousness, and to sit aloof, making a show of Krishna consciousness is less important than actually engaging in the field of activities for the sake of Krishna. Arjuna is here advised to act in Krishna consciousness, following in the footsteps of the Lord's previous disciples, such as the sun god Vivaswan, as mentioned here before. The Supreme Lord knows all his past activities as well as those the persons who acted in Krishna consciousness in the past. Therefore, he recommends the acts of the sun god who learned this from the Lord some millions of years before. All such students of Lord Krishna are mentioned here as past liberated persons engaged in the discharge of duties allotted by Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So one has to follow in the footsteps of our previous acharyas. Because our previous acharyas knew how to, and they teach us also. What they teach us? How to anchor everything in Krishna. For that, we have to be trained. What is the morning schedule? Why a person wakes up in the morning? To chant. If a person doesn't have the schedule, he'll just wake up and fight. Or he'll just wake up and stare, or look at the paper, or be toilet conscious. Or just go and run and come. See how Prabhupada has given the day schedule so perfectly. Because Prabhupada knows how much we can take. See, the rice has to be cooked. How much water to be put? Our acharyas know. Dandavati parikrama many do, but that doesn't mean that we should do, because our acharyas are not recommended for us. Because if we do Dandavati parikrama, 1, 2 Dandavat, and afterwards gone, completely Dandavat, cannot get up. So better is, don't try to imitate, just follow what our acharyas have told. If less water, it will become dry. More water, it will become soggy. Even to cook the rice also, it needs And the person should be expert. It should not be too sukha. It should not be too soggy. At the same time, it should be very wonderful. So cooking rice in the same way, how to cook a devotee. So acharyas know how to cook a devotee. That means how much rules and regulations should be given. Kim karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshami yajgyatva mokshate shubhat. Kim karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha kim karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshami yajgyatva mokshase shubhat. So kim karma, kim akarma. Kim, what is karma? Kim akarma, what is akarma? Kavayo petra mohitaha. Even kavayo, intelligent people are also bewildered. What is karma? What is akarma? What is inaction? What is action? Tatte karma pravakshami. Krishna says, I am going to explain. Pravakshami. Yajyatva mokshase shubhat. Just by knowing this, you will be freed from all misfortune, ashubhat. What is karma? What is akarma? So karma, in karma you have sakarma, vikarma, isn't it? Sakarma, vikarma. Akarma, no reactions. Why? Everything for Lord. When you keep in center Krishna and do everything, then whatever you cook is not good. It is divine. So it is beyond good, beyond bad. Whatever you sing for Krishna, it's again divine. Beyond good, beyond bad. So what is karma? Where you have fruity results. Sakarma, good results. Vikarma, bad results. Akarma, no results. No results. Like tap water, don't take. Just we say, same tap water offered to Lord, standing in the line to take Charanamrit. Nobody is asking whether this is a tap water or Bisleri water, what water. No, it is offered to Lord over. A simple example. By simple examples only you'll understand. Same tap water. You will not allow your child to drink that. Neither you will drink. Neither you will drink nor you will allow your child to drink. Same tap water, Brahmana takes and pours on the Lord. Everybody stands on the line and takes. Because it is beyond good, beyond bad. So that is why anything offered to Krishna becomes divine. You offer yourself to Krishna, then you become divine. Like my Prabhuji changed my name, Prabha to Nivedita. Only what is the meaning of Nivedita? Nivedya, you have offered to Krishna. He was not knowing, bichara. He changed my name to Nivedita. Exactly after 2 years, he got his Nivedita, Nivedya. So when you give everything to Krishna, then your whole body becomes divine. You are no more good in the society. You become divine in the society. First, Jale dekho, tare kaho, Krishna upesh. You have to just say Hare Krishna to everyone. Everyone, you should just say Hare Krishna and see that everyone is reminded of Krishna. Just by your tilak. Everybody looks at you. Oh, Krishna conscious. Oh, you are Krishna conscious. You may or may not be Krishna conscious. At least your appearance is Krishna conscious. By that, other person is benefited. Okay. Anshul Bhatt. Anshul Bhatt.
Mataji, traveling.
Okay. Mayur Prabhu, you read. Anshul Prabhu, unmute yourself. Mute yourself.
किं कर्म किम कर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहितः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्.
You read ekdam 100% right. Not even one mistake. Good Brahmana.
Thank you.
Read.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. Purport. Action in Krishna consciousness has to be executed in accord with the examples of previous bona fide devotees. This is recommended in the 15th verse. Why such action should not be independent with will be explained in the text to follow. To act in Krishna consciousness, one has to follow the leadership of authorized persons who are in a line of disciplic succession as explained in the beginning of this chapter. The history of Krishna consciousness was first narrated to the sun god. The sun god explained it to Manu, to his son Manu. Manu explained it to his son Ikshvaku, and the system is current on this earth from that very remote time. Therefore, one has to follow in the footsteps of previous authorities in the line of disciplic succession. Otherwise, even the most intelligent men will be bewildered regarding the standard actions of Krishna consciousness. For this reason, the Lord decided to instruct Arjuna in Krishna consciousness directly. Because the direct instruction of the Lord to Arjuna, anyone who follows in the footsteps of Arjuna is certainly not bewildered. It is said that one cannot ascertain the ways of religion simply by imperfect experimental knowledge. Actually, the principles of religion can only be laid down by Lord Himself. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. No one can manufacture a religious principle by imperfect speculation. One must follow in the footsteps of great authorities like Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Manu, the Kumaras, Kapila, Prahlada, Bhishma, Sukadeva Goswami, Yamaraj, Janaka, and Bali Maharaj. By mental speculation, one cannot ascertain what is religion or self-realization. Therefore, out of causeless mercy to his devotees, the Lord explains directly to Arjuna what action is and what inaction as is. One action performed in Krishna consciousness can deliver a person from the entanglement of material existence. Hare Krishna.
Now, what is karma? What is akarma? In karma, there are two: sakarma, vikarma. And 17th verse. And then is akarma. Akarma means which is beyond good and bad. Karmano yapi bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi. Karmano yapi bodhavyam, कर्मणो ह्यपि बोध, read loudly ना हरिवा जोर से. कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं, कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं, बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः, बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः, बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः. अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यम्, अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं, गहना कर्मणो गतिः, गहना कर्मणो गतिः. कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यम्. Understand what is sakarma. Action here refers to sakarma, what has been prescribed in the Vedas. Bodhavyam cha vikarmanah, forbidden, what is not been told, forbidden work. Akarmanascha bodhavyam, understand what is inaction, action without any reaction. That is known as inaction. Gahana karmano gati, very difficult to understand. Krishna says intricacies of actions are very difficult to understand. Any motives, even if a person is walking a spiritual path, if he has any personal motives, then that is not counted as a karma. Akarma means actions without any motives. If you have any motives, I want to gain. I want to gain some profit out of it. No, because this is beyond. It is transcendental. It is beyond goodness also. Sagunan samatitetan brahma bhuhaya kalpati. If you have any even single desire in devotional service, then that is not counted as the pure devotional service. At the level of purity, there is no personal gain, there is no personal desire. Because Krishna says, I do not have any aspiration, I just perform a duty. So any action for Krishna also should not have any aspirations. Just perform as a matter of duty so that others learn from you. So you should not have any personal motives. That is why it says, Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti uchyate. You want to have any position, Sarvopadi vinirmuktam, come out of all these upadhis. Perform all type of activities if required for Krishna consciousness. One can perform the work of Rudra also. One can perform a work of Shastri also, Vaishya also, Brahmana also. Perform all the work. Then that is Krishna consciousness. Do not have any personal padis. Oh, I'm the temple president. How can I do this work? All the work you can do. You can become a good Vaishya also. You can become a good Brahmana. You can become a good Brahmana. You can become a good Vaishya. If that is the need of the hour. That is a need, like fundraising, collecting the funds. It is a Vaishya's work. You can do that. That is the need of the hour. It's not for your personal gain. Temple needs funds. Naturally, one has to work hard. Different ways. Run Govindas, feed people, take money. Make achar. Achar papad is going on in our center. Make achar, make papad, Hanuman, temple runs. So if that is the need of the hour, do it. Do it. Okay. Pushpa Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Karmano ya api bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmanasya bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. If one is serious about liberation from material bondage, one has to understand the distinctions between action, inaction, and unauthorized actions. One has to apply oneself to such an analysis of action, reaction, and perverted actions because it is a very difficult subject matter. To understand Krishna consciousness and action according to its modes, one has to learn one's relationship with the Supreme. That is, one who has learned perfectly knows that every living entity is an eternal servitor of the Lord, and that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness. The entire Bhagavad Gita is directed toward this conclusion. Any other conclusions against this consciousness and its attendant actions are vikarmas or prohibited actions. To understand all this, one has to associate with authorities in Krishna consciousness and learn the secret from them. This is as good as learning from the Lord directly. Otherwise, even the most intelligent persons will be bewildered. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada says any action is actually vikarma, whether action, inaction, whether action, that is karma or vikarma. It's actually vikarma only, because any action not done for Krishna, even though it is sakarma, prescribed in the Vedas, if not done for Krishna, it's going to bind us in this material world. But only akarma will liberate us from this material world. Now this verse, very nice verse. A brahmachari goes to a grahastha's house. A grahastha meets a brahmachari, comes to the temple. And then sometimes the brahmachari comes to the grahastha's house. कितना entangled रहते हैं, हाँ, पूरा दिन काम काम काम, फंसे हो गए काम में. हाँ? He talks like this to a grahastha. But that grahastha, he has gone to take donation. He takes donation, comments also and comes. He took donation and gave a nice comment also. सुबह से रात तक गधे जैसा काम करता है. But he took donation of 1 lakh and came. To give that 1 lakh donation, Bichara is working like Gadha, na? But then, though he is working, mute Mataji, Bushma Mataji. Though he is working, though he is in action, but actually it is inaction. Why? Though action, he is working, but he has a tendency to give. He is not having the tendency to take. That is inaction. So that is why if he goes to a Grahastha's house, he should see, though he is working hard, he has a tendency to sacrifice. Action, he should see inaction in action. Inaction in what? Action. Now, Grahastha goes to the temple, and by mistake he has seen a brahmachari taking with some Grahastha, he is taking some food in Govindas. See, he is a brahmachari sitting in the Govindas and eating ice cream, but he's not understanding that brahmachari is actually cultivating a Grahastha. For cultivation, he has to talk. He has to be with the Grahastha. So though he is in inaction, he has left everything, inaction, but he's fully in action. So action in inaction, that is a brahmachari or a sannyasi. Action, completely active. What? In what? In his renunciation also, in inaction. Renounced in action, that is a grahastha. If that proper vision is there, then there is a harmony between grahastha and brahmachari or a sannyasi. There will be a harmony. There will not be a type of criticism between each other. No. If a grahastha is working hard, grahastha sustains the temple. And if a brahmachari is in the temple, he spreads the knowledge. He goes. That is how he has to be active. He cannot be dull-headed. He cannot just sit in one place. He has to go. He has to perform a lot of action. He has to meet people. He has to give the knowledge. He has to take the anxiety of maintenance of the temple. He has to pay the electricity bill, which may come in lakhs. Now just see, for paying our electricity bill in the Grahastha's house, we take so much of anxiety. To pay the electricity bill of the temple, how much anxiety to be taken? To feed so many mouths, how many anxiety to be taken? To feed 4 mouths, we take so much of anxiety. So our temple president or the authority, he takes so much of anxiety. So action in inaction, even to earn the money, ask donation, distribute books, so many ways, yatras to be conducted. So in that only money comes, na? How the money will come, how the temple will run, how the salaries will be given. It is not so easy to run a temple. So naturally, for that, how much action in inaction? Actually, he's renounced. What he has to do with all these things? He's renounced. But still he is more active than even a grahastha, more active than even a shopkeeper who says, kabhi aayega customer, nahi aaya to bhi theek hai. But this person stands in the counter and sells the books. Please take, please take. Why? Some money comes. That is how the temple runs. So there is a cordial relationship and a harmony if this understanding is there. The proper mode of seeing a grahastha is in action, renunciation in action. When you say in action means renunciation in action. Proper mode of seeing a brahmachari is action in inaction. That is renunciation. Action in renunciation. Okay. Read now the words to be read, right? कर्मण्य कर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्न कर्मकृत् कर्मण्यः कर्म यः पश्येत् कर्मण्यः जोर से बोल कर्मण्यः कर्म यः पश्येत् गौतम is sitting Balkrishna Gautam so loudly कर्मण्यः कर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्न कर्मकृत् Karmanyah, akarmah, akarmayah. So, inaction in action. This is grahastha. Inaction in action. Then akarmanicha karmaya. Action in inaction. This is brahmachari or a sannyasi. So whoever sees like this is intelligent, buddhiman, manusheshu. He is intelligent. Sayuktaha. He is in transcendental position. Krishna karma kar. That is how he is engaged in all activities. He doesn't see, he is anchoring everything in Krishna. He is not seeing, oh, he's a grahastha or a brahmachari. He is seeing that how, even though in full action, he is renounced. Grahasthas are there, that is what temples are running. Na? How the donations will come? So renunciation in action, action in renunciation, then appreciates all sorts of work. So Krishna is not lost. He is seeing renunciation in everything and action in renunciation. Okay. Jai Shri, right? Gita read.
Hare Krishna. Karmanya karmaya pashyet akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta krishna karmakrit.
Very good.
One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Perfect. A person acting in Krishna consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. His activities are all performed for Krishna. Therefore, he does not enjoy or suffer any of the effects of work. Consequently, he is intelligent in human society. Even though he is engaged in all sorts of activities of Krishna, akarma means without reaction to work. The impersonalist ceases fruitive activities out of fear, so that the resultant action may not be a stumbling block on the path of self-realization. But the personalist knows rightly his position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness. Because everything is done for Krishna, he enjoys only transcendental happiness in the discharge of this service. Those who are engaged in this process are known to be without desire for personal sense gratification. The sense of eternal servitorship to Krishna makes one immune to all sorts of reactionary elements of work. Hare Krishna.
So he is not bound to any reactions. Why? He is renounced in all work and he is completely active in renunciation also. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpavarjitaha jnanagdhidagdha karmani jnanagdhidagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddhaha. Yasya sarve samarambha कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहु पंडितं बुधाः Yasya sarve samarambha. He is engaging in all sorts of work. All. Kama sankalpa varjitaha. But he has no desire for sense gratification. He is doing everything but without any sense of gratification. So what happens? Jnana dagdha karman. The sages have said that all his reactions of work, panditam buddhaha, the buddha or the intelligent person knows panditam Buddha, what he knows, that all his reactions have been burnt because he has no motives, he has no desire, but he's engaging in all sorts of work. But he will not face any reaction. Why? Because he has no personal motives. So even though he's engaged in all sorts of work, he has no material desire. So all his reactions of work have been burnt. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam. Because of the perfect knowledge, dagdha karmanam. Dagdha means burn. It has been burnt. What has been burnt? The fruits of actions has been burnt. Anamika read. Anamika read. Unmute. Anamika.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Right now I'm not having Gita because I am at another home. So sorry Mataji.
Okay.
I can read, Mataji.
School, how you'll come without
Mataji,
any
I'll
book
read.
or what? Read. Who said?
Mataji, I'll read.
Yes,
Saurabh.
read. Saurabh will read. Saurabh
Okay.
read.
Yes, ma'am. Yasya sarve samarambah kama sankalpa varjitaha jnana digdha karmanam
Jnanagni.
jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddhaha. One is understood to be in full
Buddhaha.
Buddhaha. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Only a person in full knowledge can understand the activities of a person in Krishna consciousness, because the person in Krishna consciousness is devoid of all kinds of sense gratificatory propensities. It is to be understood that he has burned up the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge of his constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is actually learned who has attained to such perfection of knowledge. Development of this kind of eternal servitorship to the Lord is compared to fire. Such a fire, once kindled, can burn up all kinds of reactions to work.
Okay. Now Independence Day, 15th August. Krishna says that is not independence. Real independence is 20th verse. What is the meaning of independence? You are not dependent on anyone, isn't it? Tyaktva karma phala sangam nityatrupto nirashrayah karmanyabhi pravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Tyaktva karma. I think the lot of crackers are there. As soon as the word independence has come, the moment this verse there is crackers here. Tyaktva karma phala sangam. Tyaktva karma phala sangam. Nityatrupto nirashrayah. Nityatrupto nirashrayah. Karmanyabhi pravrittopi. Karmanyabhi pravrittopi. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. Very beautiful verse. Tyaktva karma phala sangam. Give up all, because you are giving to Krishna. Na? So naturally you have given up all the fruits of actions because you have given everything to Krishna. Now it is no more your thing. You offer to whoever Krishna wants to feed, he will feed. Dane dane pe likha hai khane wale ka naam. What is this proverb coming from? From where this proverb came? You offer to Krishna. To whoever Krishna wants, he will give. Oh, I made 10 laddus. I only got half laddu. Now it is Krishna's laddus. If he wants to give somebody 4 laddus, you should not see with a big eyes why he got 4 laddus. This is prarabdha. You may get just half. You may not even get also. It is Krishna's desire whom to give the prasadam. Once you have offered, it belongs to Krishna. So you have given up karma phala. So that is why you are nitya trupto. Why you are always satisfied. You have to be satisfied because you have given to Krishna. So naturally you have to be satisfied and you are independent also. You are not dependent on your material senses. You are completely dependent on Krishna's mercy. You are not dependent on your efforts. You are dependent on Krishna's mercy. Whoever Krishna wants, Krishna will feed. So in this way, karmanya bhi pravuttopi, even though he is engaged in all sorts of activities, naiva kinchit karoti sa, he is not doing any work. What is the meaning? He is not doing any work. He is not doing any work for himself. There is no personal gain. So Krishna tells to Arjuna, you do like this. Tektva karma phala sangam. You give up everything. In this way, you'll be always satisfied and you're completely independent. You're not dependent on your senses. What your senses are thinking, oh, my eyes are not able to see my own relatives dying. You're so much dependent on your senses. Don't depend. Nirasha, be independent. Be completely free from all these dualities. What is the meaning of independent? Come out of these dualities. Sukha, dukha, man, samman. Some may like you, some may not like you, some may scorn you, some may appreciate you. So you're not dependent on the results. You're completely independent. You're not dependent on how people will take you. They'll accept you or they'll reject you, whatever it may be. You're doing everything for Krishna. That is why nitya trupta ho, you are always satisfied. Karmanya bhi pravuttopi, you will do all sorts of work. Still, you're not doing anything. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. Though you are doing everything, but you are not doing anything for your personal benefit. Okay. Shilpa Balaji, read.
Hare Krishna.
20th verse.
Is 4.2.
Those who have not kept their videos on, you should understand. No, either no books or outside. Where are you, Shilpa?
Mataji, I'm here.
Read.
Yes.
Read.
Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya tripto nirashrayah karmanyabhi pravrattopi naiva kinchit karoti saha.
Very good.
Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. This freedom from the bondage of actions is possible only in Krishna consciousness, when one is doing everything for Krishna. A Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he has no attraction for the results of the action. He is not even attached to his personal maintenance, for everything is left to Krishna. Nor is he anxious to secure things, nor to protect things already in his possession. He does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is always free from the resultant reactions of good and bad. It is as though we were not doing anything. This is the sign of akarma, or actions without fruitive reactions. Any other action, therefore, devoid of Krishna consciousness, is binding upon the worker. And that is the real aspect of vikarma, as explained herein before. Hare Krishna.
Stop here. So now the class will be on Monday. After Monday, chutti. I'll think if Wednesday I get time, I'll take. Going for yatra from 1st. So till 10th, we'll not have any class. After that, we'll start the class. Till the time, study all the verses. Mayapur yatra is there, 1st to 9th. So I think we're coming on Friday. So next week onwards, the class will start. So this 10 days, those who are coming in yatra with me, they will not have any much homework. Those who are not coming in yatra, sit and do the homework. All the questions which is given in the book, workbook for 1st chapter, 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, do it, introduction also. Just start writing the question answers, memorizing the verses. Okay, so you're preparing. Because after 6th chapter, there will be a test. So at least in these 10 days, you prepare yourself for the 3 chapters, 4, 5, and 6. Then again. Okay. Any questions in this? May I ask?
Mataji, Hari Krishna. I just wanted to understand. See, whenever we are doing work, okay, we always say that we should not expect anything from the work, leave it to Krishna. But when we are in any relation or when we are working, there is always an expectation from our subordinates or our bosses or our
I
husband.
told na,
wife.
karma, I think you have not heard 2.47. Karmanyavadhikaraste, that is not at the platform of lust, it is at the platform of love. Because if you say you work and you know results, nobody will go to work. So only at the platform of love, there is no expectation. So you hear the class of 2.47, the recording. Very clearly it has been said. And even in the day-to-day schedule also, Nitya Karma doesn't have much expectation. Naimitika and then Kamya Karma, they have full of expectation. You are going to your office, then naturally you want results, na?
Yeah.
Why you should go without results? You set the goals also. So, but when you are doing it for Krishna, no results, because all the results are taken by Krishna. There also results are there, but he is taking it. Okay. Any more questions?
Mataji, one more question.
Yeah.
My chanting is actually very bad. In the sense, I am not very regular in my chanting. So, can you suggest something which I can, concentrate more and how to?
Wake up early in the morning.
But waking up early in the morning also, I get up early in the morning, yes, of course. But I am not able to chant very continuously.
Wake up early in the morning. Take your bath nice. Then look at the name and chant. Just don't chant and void. Chant looking at the name. Close your eyes. See the name. The moment you start seeing the name, you start relishing the name. That is how the relishing starts. When you're chanting, you start relishing because you're looking at the name of Krishna. And name and Nami is not different.
But getting up in the morning, having a bath, and then chanting is very important, or you can just get up and.
Take bath.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. Vanchakल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो वैष्णवेन्दु की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।